Welcome back, Saginaw County Principals. It's Rebecca Hornack, the Director of Instructional Services at the Saginaw ISD. This is kind of the kickoff to a couple of changes coming out of the instruction department. And the first one is the way we communicate with you guys this year. So the first Monday of every month, you'll receive a video update. That video update will contain myself, the instructional leads, and the various things and activities and items we want you to know about coming out of the department. And then on the second Monday of the month, you'll get your curriculum corner. We're only going to do curriculum corner once a month this year, but it's going to have a lot of really deep articles and good information for you. And it's a new platform. And then in addition to that, the final Monday of the month will be a podcast. The instructional leads, so myself, Megan Coonan, Heather Phelps, and Amy Wasman will be interviewing various guest speakers around educational topics, and so you can expect that coming out as well. We're also hoping to have some principal networking events, but we're going to primarily focus on communication efforts with you guys and keeping you in your buildings, but at the same time, providing you with some professional learning opportunities as well this year. So with that, we're going to kind of kick off this first back in August, and as you can see, I picked my setting appropriately, I hope. I'm still hoping some of you are able to relax before you get going into the school year. I know quite a few of you are back in the office. And so we thought we wanted to share the information as soon as possible because I got to tell you, there is a ton of stuff going on. So a couple highlights from the summer months. Amy Wasman, who's in charge of our Whole Child Initiative out of the department, had the opportunity to present at Washington, D.C. at the National Mental Health Conference. That was pretty exciting for her. She has also been running around like crazy, getting ready for 31N type activities. And then in addition to that, she's been down to MDE working with them on MyKIP and the whole child definition. Megan Coonan has been, I think, on more flights than in the office between all the activities she's had going on this summer. She was accepted to be a reviewer for the National Ed Reports for science, so we're really excited she had that opportunity this summer. In addition to that, she went out to Minnesota for math recovery training, so she is an official trainer for us. For those of you who don't know, math recovery is very similar to reading recovery. It's an intervention program that we hope to get started in Saginaw County. She was also my Star Hub trainer and facilitator, worked with Michigan Tech and a number of teachers in the county to work on writing some of those curriculum pieces. That took about 2 weeks of her time in July, and we really appreciate the dedication of those teachers as well for volunteering on that project. Heather Phelps, she has been knee-deep in Teacher College and Lucy Calkins' work. The township's headed in that direction, and I know we also have a couple other districts in the county that are working on that, such as Frankenmuth. We have some coaches headed actually to New York for Teachers College with Lucy Calkins, so we're super excited about that opportunity. She's in the process of expanding her literacy team. So we've hired 2 new literacy coaches in the county working for specific districts, and we welcome them to our team. She will be having both an internal and external literacy team this year. So more information to come on that. MyRead. MyRead is the platform for the IRIPs in the county. And in the state, it's a relatively new one. We do have 2 districts, Birch Run and St. Charles, piloting it this year, and we put together an implementation plan, which we'll share with you guys. And last, myself and Angie Adams went along with Erin Sinkowski, our Director of Special Education, and Kathy Stewart, our Superintendent, and went out to Colorado and got to spend a couple days with CSEP and MDE at a networking event to learn what other states were doing in the area of systems work. So that was kind of a fascinating process, and we brought a ton of information back. So we'll jump right into that as kind of our topic of discussion. So our MTSS update, transformation zone districts. Transformation zone districts will be coming up on their next administration of the district capacity assessment. And we're almost done with our annual report on those 3 districts. Those 3 districts are Birch Run, Freeland, and Chesaning. So some information will be coming out as to where we're at in the process and where we're headed. Partnership districts. We've been doing a lot of work with our partnership districts in regards to their goal setting and working with MyExcel and their liaisons. So they've been hard at work this summer. And then MyKIP updates. Myself, Amy Wasman, Jenny Gino, our director of CTE, have all been working with MDE in regards to MyKIP. And once again, we are always excited to offer our continuous improvement series this year, and I'll kind of go over in a little bit how that's set up. Literacy, a couple of highlights that you need to be aware of. We are still giving the kindergarten readiness assessment. So kindergarten teachers will have to give this. It's mandated by the state, but we will be offering training for all your new kindergarten teachers. MyRead, like I said, there's going to be a MyRead implementation plan. So with that being said, MyRead is optional. It does cost money, and it's a platform. It's a platform that houses your data and helps basically create that IRIP plan. And St. Charles and Birch Run are piloting it at their elementaries. We are going to be working as a county on this project. The literacy coaches at the collaborative network with Heather will be kind of taking a look at all the strategies and all the pieces that go into MyRead. And then towards the spring, we will have kind of an exploratory session for districts who may be interested in jumping in. And then we'll phase it in. So there'll be information about the MyRead implementation plan attached to this email, to this video, so that you can kind of review it so you have an idea of where we're going. We are going to phase it in slowly because there's still some unknowns and it's still a little clunky as they're figuring things out. This is third grade retention year. Heather wanted me to remind everybody of that. Those numbers have been out in regards to what kind of numbers they're projecting for our districts and our county. Heather, once again, will be working with the literacy coaches and her literacy team to kind of define communications around that piece. In STEM, Megan Coonan has the STEM Fair coming up on Friday, January 31st. Last year, the STEM Fair was a hit. Our PD center was booked solid. We had a ton of kiddos from around the county. We're so super excited to offer this again as well. More information will be coming out for the STEM Fair, but it's kind of one of our few opportunities to get kids on site. There's great prizes involved, and it's just kind of fun to see all the kids and their projects and their problem solving. So if you get a chance, we really hope that your students participate in that. It is K-12. It's open wide. We do grade bands for prizes, but we do want to see all different levels participating in the event. MyStar teacher training is coming up early this year on September 9th for any new teachers, and there'll be a flyer attached to this. I'm kind of going to go over with you guys how our PD information is set up, but that MyStar training is coming up quickly, so we wanted to highlight it. The Saginaw ISD, in partnership with the MySTEM Network, is receiving dollars to purchase the Serial City science kits for the elementary group and science curriculum. They'll be available on a checkout system, but we will be housing them at the Saginaw ISD, and those will be coming shortly. Math recovery training. So Megan's going to be able to offer math recovery training this year. She is an official trainer. However, you do have to purchase the kits for that training. And more information will come on that. Math Leadership Network is starting this year. So one of the things that we are working hard at the Saginaw ISD in doing is creating systematic work within our districts. We all know that one-hit wonders don't work. And to really implement something, you have to have a network and a coach. You have to be selective as to what you're doing. And so each of the initiatives out of the ISD instructional department has a network design. So math, in this particular case, Megan will have a group of math leaders across the county to come together to talk about math instruction, what it should look like, what we should be using, best practices, and really working with those particular people to implement the best practice in the districts. Now, here's the challenge we face with math. Math has no coaches. There are very few coaches available in the area of mathematics. It's a challenging subject. And so Megan's taking the approach that she will take curriculum people, she will take principals if available, she really, teacher leaders, math interventionists if you have them, but whoever you define as the unspoken math leader for your building and for your district is going to want to attend these events because it's going to be really planning the movement of the county forward in the area of mathematics. So that's a big one to keep a close eye on. Whole Child. So much is going on in Whole Child. First up, 31 and information. So there was an application process and a bunch of stuff going on with those dollars that we received from the State Department. This is a cross-department collaborative between early childhood, instruction, and special education. CTE's involved. But we basically have picked a couple things and are moving forward with. So Handle with Care is one of those initiatives. Handle with Care, if you're not familiar with Handle with Care, is a situation where if a child has had a domestic dispute at home, or there was an incident, whatever the situation is, and police were involved, or the child was removed from the home, or a caseload worker was involved from DHHS, whatever the situation is, the law enforcement or the agency would call the school district and just say, you know what, handle Joe with care today. They wouldn't give any explicits, but at least then the district would know something was going on with that specific child. So if there was behavior challenges throughout the day, or if we need to keep an eye on them, it's a great program. So we're going to be having some training coming up. We're in the process of scheduling that. Amy is the lead on this project. She is working with Kathy Stewart in regards to setting up law enforcement and our school district information, but we're trying and hoping to create a nice systematic approach where the law enforcement would contact the ISD, and then the ISD would then contact the district to save some time and create a systematic approach. So we'll be working on that this fall. In addition to that, John Lefevre will be heading up the Behavior Network. Amy Wasman will be his co-pilot. For those of you who don't know John, John is in our special education department as our behavior specialist. He, along with Amy, is putting together the Behavior Network. So very similar to our Math Leadership Network. This is the Behavior Network, which means behavior interventionists, assistant principals, counselors, who's ever responsible for those pieces in your district and making sure things get implemented back. Their focus is going to be around trauma-informed schools. And we actually have 3 pilot schools in the county who are receiving some additional staffing support to really truly take a look at their systems and implement trauma-informed schools. And those districts and schools are Freeland High School, Middle School, Chesaning, Big Rock Elementary, and then Francis Ray Charter School. So those 3 districts will be participating in that pilot that we hope to show proof of evidence that it's successful and then scale up in the future. Project Dottie. Project Dottie is coming out in regards to the whole child. This is one of Amy's little tiny projects that kind of exploded, because you all know how Amy works. So what a lot of people don't realize is that female students often miss school because they don't have the necessary products when they need them. And so Project Dottie is to help collect that so that all schools have enough feminine products so the students don't have to miss. If you want more information on that, you can go ahead and contact Amy Wasman. Amy also is going to be having an updated Michigan model curriculum training sessions that includes the opioid misuse prevention is a requirement now, part of that Michigan model curriculum. And then we're also offering CHAMPS training again this year. There'll be 3 sessions, 1 in September and 2 in December. So you can look forward to that. So those are some whole child updates for you. Couple of really important updates. Where do you find all this information, right? We have updated our website, our department website. So when you go to the Saginaw ISD website, which is www.sisd.cc, and you go down to departments and then instructional services, the first thing that's going to pop up is a calendar, and this is our professional learning calendar. This is going to have all the information coming up on the trainings that we're providing. So for example, SIOP training is coming up. If you click on SIOP training, the registration is linked directly into the calendar, and you can also copy it directly to your calendar if you plan to attend. Here's another example, AP workshop. If you click on it, as you can see, registration is right there. So we have a number of trainings coming up, and I will be going over those shortly here. But then over on the left-hand side, you're going to see some options. English language learners, literacy, math in the mail, MTSS, and continuous improvement, STEM, and whole child. When you click on STEM, for example, it's going to take you to the STEM site. Here will be all of the upcoming trainings, and when you click on them, it'll take you directly to the flyer so that you have plenty of information. So for example, Centered Instruction for STEM, which we offer every year in correlation with McCall as your wraparound service. The dates are there, the contact information is there, the information is there, as well as the registration, which is directly embedded into the flyer. So if you go to, let's see if Whole Child's been updated for you. Oh, look at that. So Whole Child has been updated. So all of Amy's trainings coming up are on the front of her page. In addition to that, we are currently building our presentation material bank as well as our resources. So anytime you attend a presentation, it will be in this folder. And so if you can't find it in a former email, or if the presenter forgot to email it out, it'll be in here. And then the resources, any additional resources related to that topic will also be able to be found in that folder. So really key is going to the department's webpage, because that will have all of the events coming up on that calendar. And it's really super convenient. Let me go to the department home again. It is really super convenient to kind of scroll through. And as you can see, September is busy. October, I know there's some things still missing on October, but there's quite a few trainings coming up. And then underneath are direct contact information. So if you ever need to get a hold of anybody, all of their information is right there. So what's coming up? All right, so here we go. In August, some professional learning. So SIOP training for English learners is coming up. This is a great training for teachers. Excuse me. It's best practices in working with your English learner students. The facilitator of this training is Lori Leaf from Saginaw Township. Many of us know Lori. So that's coming up August 12th, 13th, and 14th, and actually registration's getting close to being shut down because we do have to order books for that. Attendance and truancy webinars. So for those of you who don't know, Saginaw County went to a countywide attendance policy and codes in Skyward so that we can better get to the root cause of what our chronic absenteeism challenges are in the county. There's a webinar coming up on August 12th at 9:30, primarily for administrators and secretaries to kind of learn the what, the why, and the how in regards to some of these changes. KRA is coming up on August 15th. KRA training is for any new kindergarten teacher. So if you hired a kindergarten teacher and they've been through their training, they don't need to be retrained. If you hired a new kindergartner, or you move somebody from first grade down to kindergarten that hasn't been trained, they have to be trained to give this assessment. So you're going to want to make sure that they check that one out. And then a big one coming up, College Board training. So this is around advanced placement. High school principals, counselors, your AP coordinators are definitely going to want to attend that. That is also August 15th, and that one's out to Millet. English learners meeting with the locals. So our collaborative meeting is coming up on, I believe, August 16th. We'll pull up that calendar and I'll double check, but that meeting is August 16th, and we'll be going over WIDA scores and exiting and those type of pieces if you're part of the English Learner Collaborative. September training coming up. We have that MyStar training, that one-dayer for new teachers. Another session of KRE training will be coming up in September as well. I believe it's on September 12th. CHAMPS training, there'll be 2 days back-to-back. It is a 2-day training, but John Lefevre will be facilitating that training. CHAMPS training for teachers is around classroom management. This would be great for any new teachers that you have, or any teachers coming into the school year that may be struggling. Regional literacy leaders will be occurring in September. Big requests that we had, secondary MTSS network. So the flyer will be sent out with this email, but that secondary MTSS network is happening. And this year's going to be a whole lot of learning. We're going to spend some time learning about MTSS and what that should really look like at the secondary level. And the first session will be in September. Homeless liaisons will meet in September as well. and new teacher network, and then centered instruction. So we have a lot going on in September. October countywide event. So this is really important. So I hope you perked up your ears. October 7th is our countywide event on a Monday, and there are going to be 3 amazing sites that people can attend. The first one is going to be about trauma-informed communities, and our community agencies and partners are welcome to attend. And our keynote is Dr. Stephanie Grant. She's going to be really talking about that community aspect of being trauma-informed, and participants for the day will also receive a book. Literacy will have Pam Allen as the guest speaker for that day, and they're also receiving a book. And then Techtastic will be happening at Millet. For those of you who are not aware, this is a great day for teachers to get together and really learn about how to embed technology into their instruction. And we actually have a guest vendor that day, and it's Lego. So we're really excited to see all the cool stuff that they can bring to the event. So if this is not a day where you have PDs scheduled, you are still welcome to send people, as many as you can, and getting subs and things like that. If you have any information, feel free to contact me, as I'll be the primary site coordinator. So with that being said, we have a ton of stuff going on, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. Hopefully you'll find the vlogs really, really helpful in regards to information coming out. And as updates are available, we'll send them out. But this is more of just kind of, hey, welcome back. We're really excited to kind of kick the year off strong with all the stuff we have to offer you guys. Service plans, I know Heather is in the process of finalizing those with superintendents and making sure that when we come on site to you, all your needs are met as well. So if you need anything explicit in the meantime, Heather Phelps is now overseeing the consultants as well as those service plans in that process. So you can feel free to reach out to her. Attached to this video and to this email, you will also be receiving flyers of information, and everything will be linked right into this PowerPoint, but you're really gonna wanna hit the district website as well so that you can access those flyers and make sure they get in the right hands. If you know somebody who needs to get on a listserv, let me know, and we will get those listservs updated as soon as possible. So if you have a new principal, if you have a new curriculum person, if you have a new homeless liaison, or if you have a new literacy coach, or whatever the situation may be, let us know so that we can make sure they're on the right listservs. And with that, I really just want to wish you guys the best this year, and hopefully you'll find this information helpful as we move forward. So have a good one, and we will see you next month.